Hello and welcome to VIPER. We have the wonderful, legendary Rvssian in the house. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
No, it's an honor. It's a serious honor. Someone that's like impacted so many decades of music and internationally, genre, every kind of genre. It's an amazing thing to have you here. So welcome.
Thanks again.
So first of all, I want to ask about Chopper, your latest single with Byron Messiah and Little Baby, which is like really, really doing numbers right now. So how did that come about and what made them to like work on a song for you?
We did that song about, I would say, almost a year ago. Byron and I worked on it, and it was finished just by himself. And then, at the time, we're linking with Little Baby, and we said, okay, Baby could be a cool fit. And he recorded it. I think it was in Atlanta, and yeah, the rest is history. It took a little while to come out because we were working on release dates and stuff, but came out the right time, I think.
And it's it's a perfect crossover. It's a perfect example of like Russian production in a sense because it fits seamlessly into multiple genres. It appeals to multiple audiences. So how do you, when you're like approaching a track with two artists like that, have you already got the beat in mind, or is it that you've given one the beat, like you said in this case?
No. I already had the beat in mind. Like usually, when I make a beat or starting a song idea for someone, I kind of envision where I want it to be or where I feel like the artist needs to be in their career or what they're missing. So I think Byron, people loved him for the sound of Taliban, so I want it to be in that vein but different. So that's why I kept it, because I think as an artist he should definitely hold on to that sound and make it his own before changing it too quick, And yeah, the rest is history.
And it's a rare. Well, you work with a lot of international artists, but it's rare for you to work with a Caribbean artist who's not Jamaican in a sense. He's from St Kitts and Nevis. So did that
No, he is Jamaican.
Well, technically he's Jamaican, but he's spent most of his life.
I mean, he was born in Jamaica.
He was born in Jamaica.
He's
true.
Jamaican. If it's no, I work with Caribbean artists outside. I work with certain Trini artists before. But yeah, I mean, not as much as Jamaican artists, I would say. But what was the other part of the question? The Jamaican part threw me off.
Yeah, saying like you working with like, because the Caribbean sound, like you said, with Trinidad, there's soca, there's Trinidad rap and dancehall. So how do you look to other like islands outside of the island that you grew up on for artists to work with?
Yeah, the thing is, it's not easy to discover them. I mean, yeah, there's the internet, but it's kind of hard to discover them unless you hear them on YouTube or they have something kind of generated on the internet. So I'm open to work with anybody in the Caribbean once I hear the sound and like it. I think Byron has a crazy voice, and that's what stood out for me. Yeah.
I mean, since you began, your career, like dancehall music has had many international moments. Like the UK in the early 2000s were dominated by dancehall. But like, again, we've had more recently a lot of, big success in the charts in the UK with dancehall artists. How do you feel like the landscape of dancehall has changed from when you first entered the industry compared to now when it comes to like the international appeal and the success?
I think right before I came into the industry was the last moment of when dancehall had its real international peak. That was more like the Sean Paul Elephant Man era, and I think dancehall music is coming back to what it is now. It's like a cycle, so it's cycling around. I think just overall global music is having this moment now, more than even like the mainstream hip hop music or pop. You have more people leaning into Afrobeats, dancehall, Caribbean, Latin music. So I think that's where it's at right now.
And also with because you live between, the Caribbean and America, like, do you see probably a lot more of the Latin sound? So you've been working with a huge amount of Latin artists in recent years. When did that kind of become something important to you to showcase that sound?
About a few years ago, like, I feel, because every year I like to do something different in my career. I don't like doing the same thing. So there was a few years ago I figured like, okay, I did the dancehall, I did the thing as a producer, I broke my own artist, I sang on songs, what's next? So I was traveling between Miami and Jamaica, and I always used to listen to Latin music even in Jamaica, and I figured like Latin music derives from dancehall and reggae, so it should fit. And I just networked and tapped into that market, and the rest was history. Everything worked out. It worked seamlessly.
But do you, obviously being Russian, you can maybe walk into certain, rooms and certain studios and work with certain artists. But did you ever feel you had to like start again in a certain sense?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I had to start over with the Latin. When I went to America, it was a fresh start. Yeah, they didn't really. There was a few artists who maybe knew a song or two, but it's a whole different world. I had to reprove, show everything. It was like a fresh start. I think with every genre, almost. Yeah.
But because obviously like Vybz Kartel is a name that opens doors to, if anyone doesn't know who you are, you can say that. But does that even apply in all the countries you go to?
No, sometimes it's not maybe his name, because Latin, he's big in certain countries like more Panama, Costa Rica. Like songs that helped me more in the Latin space when I was entering was maybe like a song I did for Egyptian called Wine Slow, or an artist I had at the time called J Capri. She had her songs were going good in the Latin space, or even works I've done with Sean Paul, yeah, or Shaggy, yeah. So those names kind of help more in the Latin space, yeah.
But that's something that you've always balanced quite well, like the kind of, you do work with a lot of kind of semi-pop artists in a sense, but then you also can go back to Jamaica and do a song with Skeng when he's still like a rising artist. So how did you manage to navigate that and like make sure that you never become too much of one thing in your career?
It's just, I just remember where it all started, and for me it's easy. My whole career I've lived between different genres, as we're speaking about. So once you air it to the streets and you're good enough to know what's going on and to keep yourself current, not only just working with a current artist, but updating your songs and knowing like, okay, the music changes over the year, it evolves with the style of production, with everything. Once you're able to do that, you can live among many genres or many years.
And what about like the instrumentation of your production? Like, was that something that like, when you were first starting out, 'cause you were a teenager basically when you appeared as a producer, right? So were you already like playing instruments like that, or was that something that you grew into learning about the music side of?
No, I self-taught myself like the piano, keyboard, and yeah, that's pretty. And then I taught myself Pro Tools, and the rest was from there. I didn't go to school or anything, so I learned that like a few years before I came out as an official producer. So that's how it started.
But with like having achieved like from, externally it looked like you've had like extreme success from quite early in your career. But how do you stay passionate when you've kind of already done so many things at such a young age?
Because in this world, it doesn't really matter what you've done. It's what is doing right now. It's like you're kind of almost as good as your last hit. Like you could have 10 hits 5 years ago, but what are you doing now? So that's how I kind of look at it. Like I have a bunch of plaques and I never hang them in my house because I don't want to live in that moment. Yes, I know I did something good or great, but what's next for me? So that's how I kind of look at it. Because sometimes people just look on the plaque and say, yeah, I sold 10 million records, I'm good for life. No, the bill's still coming, so the work still got to go.
Well, so it seems like you could do that in each country almost,
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm almost in every single region, like from Asia, different parts of Asia, from Japan to India to Italy, the Caribbean, every region. That's kind of what excites me to keep doing the music.
Yeah, because that's the thing, you're impacting 2 generations now. You've got people who have children who listen to you, and they would have started out when you first produced. Yeah.
This is kind of, I just caught the right year. I started the right year when it would affect 2 generations, like the old and the new.
But that was like, as an appreciator of dancehall music, that was such an amazing time to look at. Like, if you look at like, you know, the early days of Cartel and like what was actually going on in Jamaica at that time musically, because it was kind of like, I guess there was a technology revolution as well, with a lot of people having phones and they could listen to music on their phones. So what was it actually like to be part of that?
Well, when I started, I had to buy a CD burner and still give out CDs. So yeah, when I started, it was there was like my video Straight Jeans and Fitted was like kind of one of the first videos that really went on YouTube and went big. So it's like it was a different transition, because even in the beginning I didn't understand how the digital side of the music worked, because it was new, you know, like the streaming aspect. So it was just, at that point, I didn't really care about money of music. I was just trying to get my name out there and make a hit song. So it was just work, and then that came after. So I didn't really understand that part until I figured it out on the way, pretty much.
I saw in an interview saying that about literally going to any party, any night, just handing out CDs, even if people
it's not even a party. I was printing CDs. If a car with a loud speaker was playing, I would give them a CD, or a bus. You know, in Jamaica, they have the bus with all the loud speakers. I would give them a CD if a party is going on wherever, because those are the people who are going to be playing the music over and over and loud. So that's why I used to go to the bus stops, different parties, anywhere pretty much. Could be a kid's birthday party. If music is loud, I'm giving a CD.
And who do you consider the first artists of like value that you connected with in that time?
First of value. It kind of connected in different ways, because I was also ghost producing for people, so I was giving beats to other producers who had hit songs on it. People maybe not know that I did. So there was that, which I'm not really going to say the names. And then for myself as Rvssian, the first set of people was maybe like Shano, Taurus Riley. This is before even Taurus really had his name. I think I made Taurus MySpace for him and set up his stuff online. So probably those people, yeah.
And when you say the ghost production, are there songs out there that still get played now that we don't realize are you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We could do some investigating and try and, you know, figure it out ourselves. But obviously I understand why you don't want to reveal that. But that's really interesting to know from back then even.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in probably like 16, 15 at the time, yeah.
So with Kartel, like when you were first in the studio with him, was he already like a superstar in your eyes, or were you guys both on that kind of rising?
No. He was already on another level. So I don't think, when I met him, he was already the man. I think I just, what I added to his career maybe was just commercialize him a little more. Like, I would say just a little bit more mainstream to that, maybe uptown international side, but he was already the man. You know, so I can't really. I just gave a little sprinkle.
Little sprinkle of magic, but it's, you know, your names are, you know, symbolic together, like, you know.
Yeah, because I think I brought a different side out of his music. I didn't really produce much bad, quote unquote, bad man songs or stuff like that. I tried to get more like the radio songs, or the songs that could live in both worlds of the street and commercial wise. You know, like the Straight Jeans Fitted, the Clarks Again, the Look For Me, whatever, High. It always had like a more commercial sound for him. Easily digestible, Life Sweet, stuff like that.
So when did you decide to like because a lot of producers are known as producers, but they don't have quite of an artist spin on them, and their name isn't as, you know, like renowned as your name is. So when did you start to realize that was something that it was important to put your to your name to become like a legend in your own right?
When? I can't remember, to be honest. I don't remember the exact moment, but we'll just have to kind of go on YouTube and check it out. I think around the time when I did change the spelling of my name, because Russia is one of the biggest countries in the world, so that's when I realized that in the digital era, spelling matters. You type in Russian, it's Russian people coming up. So it's like, yeah, I need to make it unique. And before there was the V in Old English, so that's why I swapped it out.
And with branding, like, because I guess, looking to American producers, a lot of American producers were putting tags and stuff like that. So was it kind of seeing kind of how producers outside of your island were branding their music?
No, I think Jamaicans did tags more than like Kartel kind of like stamped when he was on a Russian or a Steven or a Dan beat, or whoever, Lenky or whatever. I think Jamaican artists did that even before hip hop artists. I can't really remember a hip hop artist shouting out the producer in the intro.
Yeah. I never really thought about it like that, but Jamaica pretty much influenced everything in rap. When you look at it, it's like,
I wouldn't say everything,
foundation.
but it's definitely there's some backbone to it. But yeah, I can't recall, like, I don't remember DMX shouting out. Maybe Just Blaze.
Yeah, but that was still like 2004 almost, really, like 2002 maybe. So you're kind of.
So I think Jamaica, like Kartel, and especially Kartel, he was known for doing that. So yeah, I would give that to Jamaica maybe.
Is there ever like a kind of like a moment or like a memory that you look back on that kind of is like a warm moment, and maybe being in the studio with one of these artists that really you kind of look back and you realize like how symbolic that time was?
Yeah, I think a lot of the moments are like that pretty much with overall with my career. I think there was a lot of great moments at different eras, artists. One in specific I can't really pinpoint, but I just know there was a lot of good moments. Yeah.
That's right. I mean, I'm sure many people would like to read a book about your life or watch a film,
Yeah, but this era of the world is a little different. A lot of things that was accepted back then or even said in music is cancel culture now. Like I saw something yesterday with even Eminem's career. If it was now, it would, which for us is kind of norm. Eminem was the coolest, where he was pushing and saying things that people really wanted to say. But no, if he said certain things, the world might cancel him for it. But his new album comes out, I say, like in a few days, so I think he's gonna still be himself. So that should be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. But I know what you mean. It's like the landscape of the last 20 years has completely shifted. Like even some of the people you work with, you wouldn't have necessarily been able to access so easily or find or contact, without things like MySpace or like what we have now,
Mm-hmm. Well, I never really contacted artists through MySpace.
Not even in the MySpace era? You never?
No. MySpace was just for girls. I just made a MySpace for Taurus, the artist page, because they had music on it, right? Yeah. So it wasn't really a artist connection device for me. It was more like a girl connection thing.
I thought you were going to say you made Taurus's page so he could get girls, but he was using it for music.
No, he was using it for music. Yeah.
But
I was using it for girls.
So have you ever, like you've never slid in the DMs for music to this day, or is it you just keep it to business
like if
contacts?
I message an artist and say,
yeah, would you do that now? But it was just MySpace, you didn't?
No, because MySpace, no, it was just strictly girls. Yeah.
Have you ever been ghosted by an artist that you DM'd? You don't have to say who, but
like Reddit, I never replied.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say. It's either that they didn't read it or didn't open it. Yeah, I would say. And then maybe like 6 months to a year later, it's like, yo, oh shit, I didn't see this. Yeah, maybe they're capping or what, but I don't know. But that's happened to me as well.
Do you say yesterday's price is not today's price when they do that?
No, because it's not. They didn't come off in a disrespectful way. It's not like they're like, nah, I'm not gonna work with you. Then they circle back. You just never know. Like for me, famous artists have messaged me with 12 million followers, and sometimes Instagram doesn't show your full DMs it does this weird thing when you swipe and it shows you like 146 weeks ago instead of us now. And yeah, so if they said something disrespectful and then circle back is different, but if they just didn't open it or anything, you can't really judge. That's kind of weird.
But how much is the personal relationship important when you're producing as well? Like, if you say someone, you know, obviously like Lil Baby like is a huge artist, but if you didn't actually have a good personal relationship with someone, would it put you off working with them?
No, because it's music business. Not every artist I even want to be my friend. You know, some others keep it business. Yeah, so it just depends. I wouldn't say I have many music friends, like real friends. I've a lot of people I work with on the music business, and we have respect for each other. But friends is different. Yeah.
And I mean, you are in London right now, so we aren't allowed to know who you're working with, but you're observing the UK scene, you're tapping into it. What do you like about our scene? Like, what stands out to you?
With London, I think England overall has some of the best singers in the world for sure. Legendary voices and artists. Also like the urban scene, like the more drill scene or stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's refreshing and they're true to who they are, so it's cool. Yeah.
Have you always appreciated our understanding? Also, because we have a very Jamaican culture too. We've got a lot of Jamaican people. So have you always kind of seen how much we tap into dancehall as well?
Yeah. There's a lot of Jamaicans there. I can hear it even in the lingo.
When did you first tour here as well? When was the first trip you came for music?
I don't remember, to be honest. I would be lying to you if I remember.
That good?
No, not like probably like 2012, 13. Yeah.
So I'm going to round up the interview. I know you got a busy day, you know, you got the whole city to see, but tell me like what we can expect from you in terms of like, you know, you're working with so many different genres and different artists, but like what's the legacy that you want to have in your career? Like what are the next things we're going to see?
You know, just probably breaking more artists, help break them. Could be artists I'm signed to or not, that has signed to me, or just in general, or touching different markets, and always coming with a refreshing sound and just kind of building my brand bigger. That's mainly my goal.
Would you ever sign a UK artist?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. What is it that you look for though in signing? Because they're not. There's many genres within it, right? So do you look for everything?
It's not really a genre thing. It's just a talented thing. Whatever stands out and unique to me. It could be a rapper. It could be a singer. Yeah.
But do they have to have a legacy, or would you prefer to? Because you're big on undiscovered talent.
Yeah, no legacy. They wouldn't really need me to be signed to work. Yeah, but yeah, it would probably be new talent more than likely.
Someone that we haven't heard from yet.
Yeah, for sure.
And who's with your label currently? Can you tell us who's coming with new music? What we can expect from those artists?
Shensia is on my label.
The Queen.
so there's new music from her coming soon. And Kosa, he's an artist out of Belize. We have some stuff working on with him. His music is incredible. Some of my favorite music I have that's on release right now. And then there's also Nine. He's coming out with a lot of new music too. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. He has the sound like with Jada and Molly and stuff, yeah. So those three, you can look out for them.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.